Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel, and welcome back to an episode of the Kansas City Royals rebuild here on MLB The Show 23. That's right, we return to the franchise, and unfortunately, this episode is not the World Series. It is the offseason. As you can see, we fell just short in 7 games to the Houston Cheaters, the Houston Astros, in the ALCS. It's disappointing, for sure. It is disappointing. I don't really know what we could have done differently. We just didn't really play too good, I guess, is basically the whole thing. Like, that last game, Freddie Peralta basically sucked. We could not hit Luis Garcia at all in the 2 games we played against him. And we allow 12 runs and we lose the game. It was brutal. It was a brutal way to lose. And we cannot defend our championship. We cannot defend our World Series crown. We will fall in the ALCS. It is 3-2, by the way. I left you guys on a cliffhanger. Hardly know her. In the last episode for who was going to win the World Series. Either the Astros or the Braves. And it is the Houston Astros come back down 3-2 in the series. They win the World Series. So we lose to the eventual world champion, Houston Astros. Who do they give the awards to? MVP of the World Series is Jose Altuve. And they give postseason MVP to Ozzie Albies and Jose Altuve. Just retire. You're 35 years old. You got a bunch of championships. You won another World Series and another MVP, postseason MVP, and World Series MVP. Just give it up. Retire. Be done. I'm tired of it. It's time to advance to the offseason. We took a look at all the stats and stuff in previous episodes, so if you're curious about all that, check it out. But we move to the off-season. I have no idea what our moves are going to be here in the off-season. We need to do something because I don't like it. I don't like how we lost. Nobody really important retires. Nobody in the Hall of Fame. We know that MLB The Show's Hall of Fame is pretty stingy, though, so it's not a shocker. I just know that I need a freaking change. We need some sort of change. We've got a couple exclusive free agents. We're probably going to bring back all of them. We have a decent budget, right? Yeah, we have $37 million. We've talked about some changes that we're going to be making, or at least hopefully making. We need a new hitting coach, though. Who's going to be our new hitting coach? Preferably somebody with no minuses. Even Terry Francona has got -1 in the contact. I don't really want that. We could go Owen Montague, but does he really give us the stuff that we want? Don Lamb, but he's 68. Dave Burt's 42. Let's go Dave Burt. Yeah, let's go Dave Burt. We'll give him a 4-year deal, $4.5 mil. He doesn't like that. Okay. We can make him a new offer, 3-year deal, but give him $4.5 mil. How's he? Yeah, he likes that. He didn't want the years. He wanted the money. Okay, so we'll hopefully sign Dave Burt. We still have Kyle Snyder locked up for 5 years, so we're good on manager. Exclusive free agents, we are going to offer probably a big contract to. I mean, we could tender $20 million for 1 season of Brady Singer, but I'd prefer to actually have him locked up. He is 30 years old, though, so we have to be a little bit concerned about his age. If we give him a 2-year deal and pay him $31 million, that's going to be pretty expensive. Oh, Brady, but he had a really good year. I don't think we can let him go. We're going to offer him that. That's risky. That is certainly risky. And then Freddie Peralta's also 30. I don't think we can bring back both of them. I definitely want to bring back Jazz, though. If we could get Jazz on a 4-year deal at about 25 mil, I'd be happy with that. We're going to have to make some moves, though. Freddie's going to have to get traded, unfortunately. Can I do it now? Probably not. Freddie might just have to get released or just let go. It's probably just not going to happen. Dave Burt is our new head coach, our new hitting coach. That's awesome. Today's the last day to tender qualifying offers. Yes, I would like to stop simulating. I think I'll just tender the qualifying offer for 20 million just to get him back on the team so we can trade him. And then we will move into actual free agency. Okay, so we have... Did those guys accept their contracts? No, it doesn't look like they accepted just yet. Okay. Who's in free agency, though? So obviously we know Brady Singer, but he's hopefully going to accept. Tarek Skubal's the best player in free agency at a 92 overall. Very interesting. It doesn't look like it's the greatest free agent class that it's ever had. And I don't really even know what we need to add to the team. Randy Arozarena? 32, though. Probably not. Jazz is the best center fielder. No surprise there. We have a lot of contracts to tender that I have to do. We have a lot of arbitration. Actually, we only have 2 guys on arbitration. Offer arbitration to Roki, even though he sucked this season, and offer arbitration to Joe Ryan. All right, that's done. So I'm going to go do the tender contracts and figure out this budget, and then I will catch you guys when I'm done with that. Okay, so I've tendered the contracts of everybody, so we should have everybody back, but our pending offers are 97.9 million, and our available budget is 35 million. So we're not in a good spot. We are going to pass on free agents for now, I think, because our team doesn't really need free agents. We're still pretty solid everywhere. Vinny is a little bit of a problem, and I can't believe that Salvador Perez did not retire. I just realized that Salvador Perez did not retire. We need to figure out what we want to do with some of these expensive guys. Like Byron Buxton's no longer injured, so Byron Buxton's probably going to get traded. Luis Arraez maybe needs to get traded. MJ Melendez, like there's some guys that we can free up some money, so I just don't know who we trade them for, all that kind of stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really like any of the pitchers in the free agent pool. Trevor Rogers is intriguing. There's Luis Garcia, but it looks like he's going to go back to Houston. That'd be hilarious if we stole him from the Astros. I think we're going to advance a couple days. Alejandro Kirk is the first big signing. He goes to Miami. Tarek Skubal signs to the Cubs. So we should have a couple of guys accepted by now. The budget is not fixed just yet. Okay, I guess the boys haven't accepted yet. We keep on moving. Freddie Peralta has decided to decline the qualifying offer and remain a free agent. Okay. Jonah Heim signs with the Twins. So, all right. Freddie Peralta is no longer going to be on our team. We're not even going to get anything for him. Kind of sucky, but we don't have the money to really work with that, so there's not really much I could do. I tried. We offered him the qualifying offer. But if he didn't want to accept it, he didn't want to accept it. And almost everybody's accepted the offers except for Pete Crow Armstrong for tender contracts. So that's good. And I'm assuming Pete Crow will accept fairly soon, within the next couple days. But we need to make sure that our 40-man roster is up to snuff. We don't want anybody leaving the team in the Rule 5 draft that we actually value. So let's just make sure we got it. So right now we have 24 plus 13, which is 37, 38, 39. We have 39 members on the 40-man roster. Is there anybody else that I would really hate to see leave? Probably nobody else in AA. What about in AAA? Antoine Huerta, if he wants to get taken, he can, I guess. I doubt he will. Everybody else here is pretty much everybody that I want on the 40-man. Maybe we add Austin Charles? Victor Samuel. We already got Keith Dell on there. Maybe Danny Dietz. Dietz. It's probably Danny Dietz or Austin Charles. I feel like Charles isn't going to go anywhere. Dietz probably isn't either, but we'll add him to the team just to be safe. All right, that should be the 40-man. We're still waiting on Brady Singer to decide if he wants to sign back with us. I hope he does, because if we lose both our starting pitchers, it's going to be brutal next season. Today's the last day to offer arbitration. I would assume he signed by now. No, he didn't. Crow Armstrong is still battling. The Royals can no longer afford the contract of Jazz Chisholm. That means Brady Singer must have signed. Peralta is going to the Tampa Bay Rays. Trevor Rogers to the Cubs. McKenzie to the Cubs. Brandon Lowe to the Guardians. Does that mean that Brady Singer signed with us? It does mean that he signed with us. So now here's where we go and we make those trades. Because now we can't afford anybody. We've got a surplus of money, a negative amount of money, and we need to make some decisions. First off, that is the Byron Buxton deal. Byron Buxton was a nice piece, but at this point, he's just not going to be good enough for us. Although this could be a little bit of a risk, trading him away when we don't have Jazz locked up for certain anymore. So it is a little bit of a scary situation. Can I trade Byron Buxton for a catcher? Because I like MJ Melendez, but we could throw MJ Melendez in this deal if we need to. Can I trade him for a cheap catcher? Oh, the only problem is all the cheap catchers are going to be like arbitration, so they're not going to be ready yet, which is a little bit frustrating because we really need to make the moves now. So maybe catcher is not the right idea. There's not really anybody that tickles the old fancy, is there? Oops, I'm going the wrong positions. I don't really see anybody. And the guys that are under contract are a little bit too expensive. I didn't mean to do that. A little bit too expensive and not really worth the time. So maybe we just like look for an outfielder. Is that going to be better? Maybe there's more options here. Although we're probably in the same situation where there's not really anybody that is available because of the arbitration stuff. Which puts us in a tough spot. I know. I don't want to lose Jazz, trust me. I do not want to lose Jazz Chisholm. But it might have to be a cost of war. That's what happens when you pay a bunch of people. That is what happens when you pay a bunch of people, ladies and gentlemen. It comes back to bite you. And Michael Harris would be really fun to get. And he's actually possible. It's not out of the realm that we couldn't get him. I could give them Zach Veen because we have a lot of right field depth. We have Rolando Batista. We have Connor McAlpin. We have George Cruz. And Eric Morales, obviously. So we have a lot of right field depth. They don't really want Eloy Fernandez. Who do they want? We have a lot of catchers. Do you want Carter Jansen, Stefan Guzman? I'd be willing to give you Carter Jensen and then somebody else. No, we can't give Joe Ryan. I didn't mean to press him. Yuri Perez doesn't even get it done. We probably can't give Carter. Is this going to be possible? Is this where we give up Gavin Williams? We've been thinking about giving up Gavin Williams for a few seasons now. And we have Yoenis Armstrong anyway. Yeah, I think this is where we give him up. Buxton, Veen, and Gavin Williams for Michael Harris. He's got 3 years on his contract. He's only $9 million, which is a little bit more manageable than the rest. So we are going to accept this trade offer. Finally move on from Gavin Williams, who now joins the Braves rotation. And we add Michael Harris, which is a cool addition. I never had Michael Harris before, so that's a cool addition to the team. Now, next up to get traded is probably Luis Ariz, which I hate, but it probably has to happen. Now, who's going to be available on this type of deal? This one probably needs to be slightly cheaper. I think this deal needs to be like a straight salary dump. Unfortunately, there's not really anybody that I want that is under contract. Everybody that I could want is really not available. They don't have contracts yet, which kind of sucks. But maybe that trade with Buxton freed up enough money to where we can re-sign Jazz. Although we maybe not need Jazz anymore because we just got Michael Harris. But I do like smooth Jazz, man. And he can play second base. I know he's an outfielder now, but he's a former second baseman. I know we have Ellie De La Cruz, who's playing second base for us. I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? I wish Nolan Gorman wasn't arbitration, but he is. I don't really want to just trade Luis Ariz for nothing. Eduardo Corona, who are you? You look really good. Oh, man. You might be the guy. You look really good. This could be that salary dump we were looking for. And I can also probably give them... Yeah, I can give them Eloy Fernandez and Darian Blanco. I don't want either of them. So I can give them both away. And Luis Ariz for Corona. Can I get anybody else? Probably not. I'm probably pushing my limits here. And Giants really don't have anybody on their team. A lot of their guys are in arbitration. But they've also got this guy, Zeke Carney. 20-year-old prospect. I might be able to snag him. I would love to get Kyle Harrison, but I probably can't. Probably asking for too much. But I might be able to snag Zeke Carney if I add one other person. Maybe I'm stretching it a little bit too far. If I give them Brett McKay, who we just got, Brett McKay would get it done. I don't really want to give up Brett McKay just now. We just got him. I know he's only C potential, but I am going to be trading Genesis Cabrera. It's just unfortunate that he's not a part of this deal. Although he could be. We still have a Aroldis Chapman. I forgot about that. He could be if I get rid of Blanco and add somebody new. Not Bentley. Who is it going to be? I don't want to give up Babe Lance. It's got to be somebody. Not Pineda. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm stretching a little bit too far. I'm probably asking for a little bit too much. Okay, so we'll go with just the original trade of Ariz and Blanco for Corona. This is just a straight up salary dump. We get a guy who's super young. He's under contract for so long on arbitration. He's really good. And we free up a lot of money that'll help us out in the future. So this is a straight salary dump. Giants, you get a new player, a new second baseman. And Corona, I mean, we have De La Cruz already playing second, so it's not like he needs to start right away at second base. But that was just a straight up, I needed the cap room. I needed the available budget, and he was cheap. So that's all that is. But now we might have enough money. Do we want Jazz? We have to outbid the Phillies. We have $8 million in pending offers, and we still have guys that we can trade. Like, we still have MJ Melendez. We still have Genesis Cabrera, who we didn't move on from. There's still some guys that we can move to free up even a little bit more money. So it's not like we're locked up right away. And we need to figure out the pitching rotation because we don't have we have Brady Singer back, but we don't have Freddie Peralta anymore. So that is a little bit concerning me. So right now Yuri Perez has to fill in again, but I don't know if I like that or not. We'll see how it goes. Free agency, starting pitchers. I'm very tempted to try to offer Luis Garcia. How old is he? He's 30 years old. He's coming off of 2 really good seasons in terms of win-loss, but his ERA is in the mid 3 points. And he dominated us in the freaking ALCS. Absolutely dominated us. There's not really anybody else that I want. Everybody is pretty old at this point. Jazz is still 29. Do I want to offer Jazz? What can I offer him? I can offer him a 4-year deal, and we can get up to $100 million probably. I can't afford that. Okay. So we can't offer him the 4-year deal. We might be losing Jazz. It sucks. But, I mean, we did pick up Michael Harris, so that's also the replacement that we were looking for anyway. Can we offer Luis Garcia? We cannot afford $55 million. Okay. We can't really afford anything at this point. Kinda sucks. Andres Jimenez signs with the Nationals. Karen Shack with the Yankees. Arozarena with the Orioles. Some interesting deals going down. It looks like finally, what's-his-face accepted the deal. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, so that's nice. He accepted his contract. All players have tendered contracts yet. We're pretty good on that. Everybody's accepted. We're basically just waiting. Evan Phillips with the Phillies. Tyler Stevenson, Padres. Brian Abreu, White Sox. We're basically just waiting on our arbitration guys. That is the only 2 guys. That's like the $5 million that we're waiting on. Once we have those guys under contract, we can figure out where the rest of the money is going to go. I honestly don't know where the money's going to go. Ooh, big trade. White Sox get Michael Kopech from the Red Sox, and they trade Gleyber Torres and Jacob Melton. Okay. Sandoval signs with the Diamondbacks. Trevor Stephan with the Rangers. We get past the winter meetings, the draft lottery. We're picking at pick 27. All right. Not bad. We've had worse, obviously. Who's going to get the number 1 overall pick in the draft? It is the Pirates. They move up 2 spots. They get the number 1 overall pick. Good for them. Good for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Marlins are interested in a trade. They want Pico Armstrong. They're going to give me Gavin Stone, 28-year-old, 79 overall pitcher, for a center fielder who has potential. I'm going to say, no thank you. The Rule 5 draft. Do we see anybody? Austin Charles got picked up by the Pirates. Sully Matias got picked up by the Yankees. Okay. Eloy Fernandez is in here too. So we don't have Austin Charles anymore. I'm not heartbroken by that. It's a little sad. There's Drew Lloyd as well. Fletcher Woodard. Whoa. I don't want him on my team though. Like I don't want him on my 40-man or on my big league roster. That's the only problem. But if he doesn't get picked up, then it's not a problem. We're going to skip our selection. Carter Jensen got taken, so we're losing a lot of players. But Fletcher Woodard I didn't see, so that's good, I guess. So we lose a few players. We don't have Carter Jensen anymore. That's fine. We were trying to trade him anyway. And we still have Fletcher. We have Fletcher Woodard still here. Okay. Right field depth is a little scarce, but it is what it is. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Still waiting on those 2 guys. Jazz still hasn't decided on a team yet, and neither is Luis Garcia. Now the Astros aren't even in on him. They've gotten bid out for. David Peterson with the Yankees. Jose Alvarado traded from the Mets to the Padres for Brett Honeywell Jr. and Mikey Gutierrez. Okay. Jesus Luzardo signs with the Marlins. Garrett Whitlock with the Braves. We're getting down to the wire here. Luis Garcia signs with the Mets. Lucas Giolito signs with the Red Sox. Drew Rasmus also with the Red Sox. There's some big money getting moved around here. But it's not Jazz Chisholm just yet. Maybe he'll hold out for us. Maybe he's he's pushing back all these contract negotiations because he knows. He's like, I know that the Royals are trying to make the budget work. If I can just hold out a little longer, they'll give me an offer. I know it. He believes it in his heart of hearts. He believes in the heart of the Cards. No, he signed with the White Sox. He couldn't hold out any longer. Jazz Chisholm is signed. Dalton Varsho goes to the Marlins. Marlins signing a lot of people. And we finally get to arbitration. The panel sided with Roki, so we're paying him 3.8. And the panel sided with Joe Ryan, so we're paying him 4.3. That is a lot of money to pay to those guys. But now we know officially what our budget looks like. $9 million before we make any other moves. Let me just simulate a little bit more to get rid of those rest of those arbitration deals. Make sure that everybody's under contract. They should be. Okay, so Genesis Cabrera's got to get moved. I don't know who it's going to be for, but he just made me so mad this past offseason, or this past postseason, that he's got to get moved. He totally lost us that game, and I don't care what anybody says, he did. So we got to find a new team for him to be on, and I would prefer to get a bullpen arm in return. And it could be this guy, Garrett Huffman, but he's not ready yet for the big leagues, and I really want the guy to be on the big league roster, probably. Bruce Dar's a little too expensive. Jose Lopez is not ready. None of these guys are really ready for the bigs. At least the cheaper guys aren't. Karinchak's too expensive. He just signed. Ron Marinaccio, 81 overall. Didn't have that great of a season, but he's under contract for a good amount. But we'd have to give up. Nobody's gonna really want. Nobody really wants Genesis Cabrera. That's the problem. So if we want to get somebody else, we're gonna have to give up a little bit more, I feel. Who's that guy that we gotta give up? Zach Little? Didn't really pitch too much. He pitched 44 innings. Had a 1.62 ERA. Not horrible. That's a little bit more manageable of a deal. We'll come back to him. He's on the Rangers now. Who else is possible? Jose Lopez we already took a look at. Jacob Webb's not ready. Justin Brule? Is that what his name is? Justin, is that how you pronounce it? But he's only a 68. The other guy was a 70-something, wasn't he? Pretty sure. We might have to come back to the Rangers. I think that was the best option. Little was his name, I think. Yeah, where's he at? Zach Little right there. He's not super expensive. De Los Santos had a pretty high ERA season. I could give them pretty much anybody at this point. Steven Cruz, deep potential. Goodbye. We're going to get Zach Little. I hope he turns out to be pretty solid for us. Okay, so now we probably have to throw Josh Stallman in a trade as well. He's just not gonna be good enough for us, I wouldn't think. Who else is gonna get in the trades? It's gonna be... Is that everybody? That might be everybody. Because I don't think we're gonna trade Logan Webb, even though he is pretty expensive. I don't think we're gonna trade Logan Webb. We could. I bet Roki's got some decent value. We need a starter, though, and Josh Stalman's not going to get us a solid starter, is he? Yuri might be able to get us a solid starter. Or maybe Joe Ryan, because he was only supposed to be a rental anyway for the postseason. And we only have him for one more year anyway because we got him on the arbitration, and he hits free agency next season. So maybe we can find somebody else who's good. Kirby Lawrence didn't have a good year at all. And he pitched in 10 games. Maybe he got hurt or something, I don't know. Who's gonna be the guy? We really need 2 pitchers because I don't trust Yuri Perez. That's the only problem. We can grab ourselves Kyle Harrison. Now, he didn't have a good rookie year, but we can get Kyle Harrison. We can't really get another bullpen arm. Do we have a bullpen arm to replace? All of our bullpen guys are super low overall. I haven't done that good of a job with the bullpen, have I? I haven't done that good of a job with the bullpen. I don't know if I want to waste my entire value on Kyle Harrison, even though he is probably pretty good. I don't think I can waste it on him. We probably have to go for value instead of or we probably have to go for quality or quantity instead of quality. I don't know who that is. Preferably somebody cheap. Cheaper, I guess. Reed Detmers, maybe? We can grab Reed. He's not super expensive. He had a really good year last year. He is going to be a free agent, though, this next season. So that's probably a similar spot to where we would be with Joe Ryan. That's the only problem. Could we re-sign him? Maybe. We can maybe re-sign him. We can't get George Kirby, and I don't even know if I'd want to. He's going to be in arbitration next year. Edward Cabrera? We could get Edward Cabrera, but he lost 16 games last year. Maybe I don't want to stay away from him. He's going to be in arbitration next year as well. Man, this is a tough decision. I don't really know where to go. I honestly don't know what the right option is. I like the deal with what's his face that we were just looking at. But it's the same kind of deal as Kyle Harrison. We wouldn't be getting the quantity that I want. But we would be grabbing ourselves a good pitcher. Reed Detmers is who I was thinking of. It's just we'd still have to rely on Yuri Perez. I don't know if I want to rely on Yuri. Can we rely on Yuri Perez? I don't know. Because we can make this deal. We might be able to get Matt Foster as well. I could throw in another pitcher. I have a bunch of these pitchers that I don't really want. Jonathan Heasley? Yeah. So we could get Matt Foster. That would replace Josh Stalman. And we can grab Reed Detmers, who's a little bit more expensive than Joe Ryan. But I think this is going to be the deal. I mean, to be fair, they're both going to be in free agency. So it's not that big of a deal. And Reed Detmers is a little bit higher overall and younger. So maybe we have a better shot at trading or signing him in the next offseason. That's going to be the trade that I make. Maybe that was a bad idea. I don't know. I guess it remains to be seen if that was a bad idea or not. But now we add Reed Detmers to the lineup. We take Matt Foster out. We have 2 new faces in the bullpen in Matt Foster and Zach Little. But Do we put our trust in Yuri? Is it ready? Is he ready to go? I think we should start the season with him, and then we can go from there. We can make an adjustment at the deadline if we need to. I think that's going to be the move. And we'll probably keep MJ Melendez around. We can't get Adley Rushman. I didn't think we could. Probably is what we'll have to do. We could grab Corey Lee. I say keep him around like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to keep him around. He's a very solid player. He's a very solid player. It's just I don't know. He's a guy that makes a lot of money, so that's always a possibility to trade. But that's what the budget's looking like right now. We can still trade MJ if I wanted to, but we locked him up for 4 years, so we have the flexibility on that basically. And I think that's gonna be I think that's gonna be my off season. I feel pretty confident in that. I feel pretty confident in the off season that we've had. Our bullpen very thin. Who do I want in the big league roster? I think Herbert Don's going to get a shot this year. I think Herbert Don is going to get a shot this year. And probably another outfielder. Maybe George Cruz probably is not ready yet. But Elijah Green probably is at this point. And maybe even PCA or Sal Frelick. Somebody's ready in the outfield. Probably Elijah Green will call up to the big league roster, make his debut, his official debut. And then we'll call up, who else? Probably Herbert. Herbert's probably ready. I know he was probably going to make the spring training team, but he's probably ready to get called up now. And that would give us our third straight opportunity at a Rookie of the Year. We had it last year with what's his face, Eric Morales. I couldn't think of his name. We had it with Eric Morales, but we lost it last second because he kind of struggled the last half of the year. We need to call up some people to AAA. We need to call up some people to AAA, not Class A. AAA, there we go. Okay. So that is what our pitching rotation will look like and our lineup will look like headed into year number 5. Is that what it is? Year number 5? De La Cruz is not playing center field, even though he probably can he? Oh, no, he can't. He probably could if he wanted to. Okay. I feel okay about this offseason. I do. It wasn't my favorite offseason, but we were kind of constrained with the budget. Like we had to make some tight moves. We have a lot of guys that are making a lot of money. That's what happens when you go for a championship. That's what happens when you go for a championship. We don't need to sign any free agents. We don't need to sign any contracts or anything like that. We can go to the spring. It's spring training time. Okay, next episode will be the start. I've decided I'm not going to do a spring training recap again. I'll probably start that back up for MLB The Show 24, I would guess. But I'm probably not going to do it for this Royal Series anymore. Just because it's a little too difficult to edit and record. Because I got to do the freaking I can't do live comm on it. I have to do the post-comm stuff. Voiceovers. And it's a little bit more difficult. I guess I could do live comm, but it's not really worth it. It's cooler if you do post comm because you can give your thoughts on how the games went and stuff. But I'm probably not going to do that. I'll just tell you about how they played and stuff in the opening day episode. But that's going to do for the off season. I think we're a pretty solid team headed into year 5, right? Year 4 or 5? I don't remember what it is. I think it's 5. We've got some good players. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the GM goals. Yeah, so it's going to be year number 5. We've progressed very well. We won the World Series in year 3. This past season, year 4, we won 94 games and lost in the ALCS. Are we a better team than we were last year? That remains to be seen, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the G Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.